Let's get educated. That's why we're here, to bring you the stories impacting K-12 classrooms and college campuses. It's time for a little education.
Hello and welcome, everyone. I am Katie Petrick, joined as always by David Fiorazo.
Guten Morgen.
Guten
Or
Morgen.
good afternoon. It might be
Guten
afternoon.
Tag.
It's actually noontime.
Guten Tag.
High noon.
Hallo, wie geht's?
Unless you're watching this later, and then good day.
Good day. Guten Tag, then.
Katie Petrick.
Good day.
Good day.
Good day. All right, well, it is Monday, and we are live here on Educated. So, as always, say good morning or good afternoon, good day, good evening, whatever you want to post. Post it in the comments on Facebook and Rumble, and we will do our darndest to respond back to said comments. Our darndest, because that's what we provide here. Now, David, here's my question, because it is Montag.
What?
Monday.
Montag.
Whatever.
Lunes.
Who did you talk to this morning on the Worldview Matters?
WorldviewMatters.tv. Ken Michael with Understanding the Times Olive Tree Views. And we talked about, here's the title of the podcast today: Divide Citizens, Orchestrate Chaos, Overwhelm Systems. Who does that sound like? And does that sound like what's going on in our country today? We talked about it and why it's happening. I'll mention globalism and the Great Reset. But go to the website, worldviewmatters.tv, and please subscribe. And thank you very much.
I'm still thinking about what you pondered there. I'll have to go back and watch since I didn't see it. Well,
he was a former detective, by the way, so great to see the perspective from law enforcement when we're talking about the southern border and lawlessness in our country today. So.
What are you talking about, David?
What lawlessness?
Oh, what are we talking about? Well,
lawlessness.
Speaking of lawlessness, a teenager in North Carolina falls victim to the speech police. See, it's not quite the same, but it's still police. After being suspended from school for writing 2 words that now have the left just enraged. Enraged, I say. What 2 words did he say?
Okay, this is an interesting story because of how it played out. North Carolina high school, he was suspended for 3 days. He used the term illegal alien on a vocabulary assignment. Gasp. Leah McGee's 16-year-old son attends Central Davidson High School in Lexington and was given a list of vocabulary words by his teacher, one of which was the word alien. Okay, think about, the fascination with the extraterrestrial and aliens and all that, right? So she said her son was just trying to clarify exactly what the term was referring to. He said, like space aliens or illegal aliens without green cards. That was the question. To me, that seems pretty benign. But what happened was apparently one of the other students was offended, and then the school found out about it and said, "Oh, that's not good. That's offensive toward other like Hispanics in the classroom." So watch this video. We'll come back. We'll talk about it.
A North Carolina high school student, poor kid here, Christian McGee, was suspended from his school for saying illegal alien in the classroom. From what I can work out, he said the term in the correct context, in an accurate context. It's a legitimate phrase to describe something, but apparently his use of the term illegal alien is offensive to Hispanic students.
Yeah, look, this is an example of the left continue its corruption of language. It's Orwellian, literally, as Orwell said, that thought corrupts language and language corrupts thought. Illegal alien is in our legal code. Illegal alien is in the dictionary. It's absolutely the right term to use. Yet the left uses it because they want to change culture. That's exactly what they are doing.
Yep, that's Ami Horowitz coming with just common sense. And being interviewed by Rita from Australia, I love that combination. But yes, it's in our legal code. It is just the words, and it's what we use. And there is nothing that child did wrong other than be in that classroom.
Right. It's funny. Think about this. If the 16-year-old student, to clarify, said, "So do you mean space aliens or do you mean Joe Biden voters?" Now, because would that be offensive? I wonder.
Correct. And my question as well is, he's 16 years old, so I assume you can't do that these days. We're talking about a sophomore. Why is the alien being a vocab word at all. Wouldn't that be like for a 4th grader maybe? Are you smarter than a 5th grader? So he has every right then to question.
Just to clarify.
To clarify, because illegal alien actually is a term that would be a little bit higher level thinking. And what context was this kid having to define said term? Exactly. So it's... Oh,
yeah, this is
our school system.
Yeah, well, this is America now, and they're censoring you for speech and words, and this is, I don't know, it may be a First Amendment issue here. I don't know how this is going to progress.
Well, there's what did the school have to say? Because the school has an actual handbook. You know, when we got to follow the handbook.
Oh, that's right.
It says, according to the 2023-2024 current school year,
go ahead.
Student handbook from Central Davidson High School. In general, schools may place restrictions on a student's right to free speech when the speech is obscene, abusive, promoting illegal drug use, or is reasonably expected to cause a substantial disruption to the school day. Now, let's just keep that up there and try to understand a 16-year-old boy asking, when we are talking about alien, does that mean illegal alien or of the space variety? Was that it? Was what I just said obscene?
No, not obscene.
No. Was it abusive?
I don't think abusive.
No. Did I promote illegal drug use by saying that?
Nothing to do with sex or drugs.
And wow, did that just cause a substantial disruption to our school day?
Substantial.
Yeah,
it was a disruption apparently to one other student that wanted to fight the kid after class.
Not disruptive.
Offensive. Was it disrupted to the school day?
No, exactly.
No, to one person in the class who complained apparently, and it's a 3-day suspension for being a racist.
Yes. So this child, 16-year-old boy, is being deemed a racist now, and his concern is because he's a student who gets good grades and is now being suspended for 3 whole days, right?
Yep.
3 days out of school.
Yeah.
And mom said he's devastated, concerned that the racism label on his school record will harm his future goal of receiving a track scholarship. We are concerned that he will fall behind in his classes due to being absent for 3 consecutive days. What's the state of education in this country if a 16-year-old boy who wants to be in the classroom is attempting to do his work and get good grades and do well in sports and get a scholarship and better himself, can't even ask a simple question using language that our own legal code states?
But Katie, he asked the wrong question. That's what they're saying. That's what the powers that be. That's not the right question. Use the wrong word. So let's look at some of the comments coming in. And thank you guys for watching on Facebook Live. We're here every Monday, Lord willing. I could care less if I offended an illegal alien. That's what they are. Get over it. Let's see. Another one says they are Biden voters, not illegal aliens. Another one says, "Oh, thank you, Lorna. My mom loves your book. God bless you." Another person, Mary says, "Unbelievable." Gary says, "Can I say homeschool?"
Yes, you can. You can say homeschool.
Yeah. So these are just. And then Luz says, "I'm sorry, but if you're offended by this because you're Hispanic, I'm offended when I'm called Hispanic first instead of American." American by choice, Mexican by birth. God bless you, sister. Dios te bendiga. Yes.
What he said. Man, we are being like trilingual today. We got some German, we got English.
And then David chimed in and said, "Obey or be ousted."
That's what it is.
In this case, a teenager ousted for 3 days. So this is not going to be the only story like this because, as I said, the left is changing the language, and they're making, their Marxism, of course, is making the oppressed and the oppressors, and they're pitting people against each other and students, and that's what they're doing.
And this is why, as Ami said in the little video, Orwellian, read 1984. Now, if you can't do 84, I understand it's a little bit thicker of a book.
Orwell.
All of a half inch. Go a little thinner and go Animal Farm. At least you'll still get, the understanding of communism there. Now, that was a metaphorical slap.
What?
In North Carolina.
Okay.
So now let's go to a physical slap.
Uh-oh.
In North Carolina. Yes, North Carolina is having some issues right now. So we have a male student who decided to just go ahead and slap a teacher. Just why not? And then ask said slapped teacher if she would like him to do it again. because that's a real fair fight, right? This happened at Parkland High School, which is part of the Winston-Salem Forsyth County Schools. Take a look.
Very disturbing.
Mortifying, unacceptable, egregious.
It was profoundly sad.
There's been outcry from parents, education officials, and law enforcement after a shocking video made rounds on social media Monday of a Parkland High School student slapping his teacher across the face. In the 40-second clip, the teacher does not rise from her seat after being hit hard twice.
Definitely should never happen on a campus in Winston-Salem Forsyth County Schools.
Winston-Salem Forsyth County Schools Superintendent Tricia McManus says along with legal action, the student will have a hearing about the future of his education. She is recommending the student face the highest level of disciplinary violation, which could lead to his being expelled.
We have to work together with our community, with our families. We've got to all play a part in making sure that these kinds of behaviors stop.
We spoke with one Parkland parent who agrees. She said she was saddened by the video and worries about losing teachers.
I'm hoping that the school really support this teacher and do what is necessary to remove this situation.
Brian Proffitt with the North Carolina Association of Educators says stopping these kinds of assaults starts with implementing more counseling and administrative resources in schools.
We do need all of those things, and we do need to respect and protect the people who go in there every day to work with our future.
Working with our future. Yes,
Yeah,
yes,
did
yes,
you
yes,
notice
yes.
the he, him?
Of course, of course.
But by the way, in North Carolina years ago, I'm older than some of you, it was a red state at one point in time. I'm not sure if there's any correlation or connection to some of what's going on now. But so, Katie, would anybody have heard about this if it was not on videotape? It's interesting that some of these things that are happening, they don't get out. But if they're on video, all of a sudden everybody's shocked and the school's going to take disciplinary action. Yeah, so
we've covered these stories time and time again.
Yes, on both sides.
On both
Students
sides,
with teachers,
teachers,
and
students,
Yeah.
everyone fighting. There's been big brawls that we've witnessed, and like you said, it is because we have the video, and of course, that's what the media wants. They want the sensational bits of it. Ask any media producer. It's all about the videos for them.
So notice also there was no context. We don't know why the student stood up and went over to the teacher.
Correct. Other than the video we got, we know nothing of this. But we get even more responses from the administration. And it's just always, to me, our usual, here is the administrator's response. You know, it's the appropriate way that they go about it. And even that video, the way she spoke, she says all the right things. But the unfortunate truth is we always say the right things after the fact. Like we're always reactionary. We're not preventative in any of this. So the principal actually also sent a message to families. Noel Keener is the principal. And Noel said, "Hello, Parkland families. This is Noel Keener, principal at Parkland High School. I'm calling to let you know that earlier today, our administration was made aware of a disturbing video of an inappropriate and unsettling interaction between a student and a teacher being circulated on social media. Our administration has started an investigation immediately in conjunction with our law enforcement partners at the Forsyth County Sheriff's Office. The student involved in the video will face disciplinary action in accordance with district policies and procedures. The student may also face criminal charges." Okay. Yep, that's from the playbook of what you're supposed to say.
Yep.
But there's more. Please know that this video is not reflective of our expectations of students at Parkland High School. We're working with district staff to address and immediately ensure behavior like this is not tolerated. Blah, 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 blah. But here's the kicker. We always appreciate you making us aware anytime there's something that concerns you. When you see a concerning social media post or text, please remember to report it, not repost or reshare it. This is like
interesting.
This is like stay away from drugs, stay away from tobacco use. Is this the DARE program? Is this the way we approach what happens in our classrooms these days is very different than I guess I would have imagined a scenario like that happening. Now, obviously, back in my day, there weren't cell phones in classrooms. We didn't have to worry about any of this. But guess what else wasn't in classrooms? Students hitting teachers. That didn't happen in my day.
No,
you may have had a nun or two slap a hand on a desk. Now that's a whole different scenario. But there weren't students getting up, going up to a teacher's desk, and punching them in the face or doing other
Oh, gosh.
Crazy type things.
Or brawls in the hallways of some
Brawl
of these
in the
schools.
hall.
We've seen things, a brawl in the hall. Yeah, the interesting thing about their statement, and I'll move on, consequences that can come from circulating or sharing inappropriate videos. You know, I mean, you should put video cameras in all the classrooms, and I think some of these things just go away.
Well,
that's a oversimplified, you know.
Well, we've talked about that before, but
Solution.
we've also talked about no cell phones, no images in the classroom, and then so it's like,
yeah. I know.
What do we do?
Which way do you go? But friends, we've got to move on. It's time to find out if you are smarter than a student at Freedom Project Academy. So here's the question today, coming from our world history course. The late Middle Ages was an age of worldly A, wealth, B, decline, C, romance, D, prosperity. We'll be right back with the answer.
Today's episode is brought to you by Freedom Project Academy. Looking for a K-12 classical online school built on Judeo-Christian values? FPA is enrolling now for the fall. Request your free information packet at freedomforschool.com. That's freedom, F-O-R, school.com. All right, we're back. We're still in this world, and we're talking about the world history.
In this world, not of this world.
Not of this world. But before the break, we asked if you were smarter than a student at FPA, and here was the question. The late Middle Ages was an age of worldly blank. Was it wealth, decline, romance, or prosperity?
Which one?
Well, my friends, just as our friend Gregory said, it is B, decline. Bom, bom, bom.
That was an easy.
Was it?
Easier
was
than,
it?
Easier than the one the
All
other
right.
day.
Well, for more information on the live, anytime, homeschool, and summer school courses that are offered at Freedom Project Academy, please visit freedomforschool.com. That's freedom, F-O-R, school.com. Because we want you to have some freedom in your choice of schooling. Unlike out in California, where our next story comes from. We say protect the children at all costs, David.
Yes,
we
yes.
say that. We believe it.
We say that.
Unless,
But are we?
Unless it involves, adults having sex with minors.
What?
And then in California, meh. Well, maybe. Because there's a California bill that would make purchasing child sex a felony, up from a misdemeanor, moved forward. But of course, not before Democrats had to make significant changes. So you would think, okay, yes, here's a bill upping the, criminality from a misdemeanor up to a felony if you're trying to purchase sex from a child. But Democrats are like, we gotta tweak it a little.
Wow.
That's where we're at. All right. There is a bipartisan bill would raise solicitation of a minor from a misdemeanor to a felony, punishable by up to 4 years in prison and a fine of up to $25,000. The bill would also require a person convicted of soliciting a minor to register as a sex offender for 10 years. But of course, there was a new version of the bill. We're going to take a look in just a moment. Which would only allow prosecutors to level felony charges if that minor was under 16. So basically, if you try to buy sex from a 16 or a 17-year-old, then maybe just a misdemeanor for you. Take a look.
Jenna McKay, sex trafficking survivor, and I support.
People speaking to the Senate Public Safety Committee.
With Love Never Fails, I strongly support.
Asking them to pass SB 1414. The bill, authored by State Senator Shannon Grove, would make it a felony for anyone to purchase a child under 18 for sex. But the committee added amendments Tuesday, exempting 16 and 17-year-olds and reducing the punishment from 2 years in prison to up to a year in county jail if it's a first offense. Grove wasn't having it.
You talk about being out of a comfort zone. You have a committee force amendments on you in front of survivors that are standing here advocating for this bill.
Advocates like Shane Harris also furious over the changes.
And I think it is just completely delirious that these senators who sit on this committee, some of them decided to go the way of amending the bill without the author's consent?
Those against the bill, like San Francisco Dem Scott Wiener, says it could target the wrong people. Critics worry young adults in consensual relationships with minors could also be charged.
This bill goes well beyond human trafficking, and I think human trafficking, we should be throwing the book at people. This bill will sweep in a lot of people who are not trafficking.
Oh.
The conversations we're having in America today, and of course that was California.
And per usual, your name says a lot about you, Scott Wiener, who is, of course, representing the San Francisco area. I can't make this stuff up, David. This is the state of our
Sadly, you're
our
right.
world.
You can't make it
Scott
up.
Wiener, Senator Scott Wiener from San Francisco, says, you know what? Adults, if you want to have sex with 16, 17-year-olds, it's just a misdemeanor. That's okay.
You're right. These stories write themselves.
It's...
What would our great-grandparents think?
It's just infuriating. Now, as you know, the author was Republican State Senator Shannon Grove, who you saw in the video, and she says that she called these hostile amendments to her bill, which is totally true. The fact that they were able to just go in there, here's the bill, and then you're able to just be like, oh no, we can't actually get on board with actually protecting all of our children. Jesus loves all the little children, but we only care about maybe sort of some of them, is what they were trying to say. See how I snuck that one in there? Yeah, I did. And so Shannon Grove said that I'm incredibly disappointed that not only did my colleagues reject my proposal to make the buying of children for sex a prison felony, that I was blindsided when they amended my bill without her consent. And unfortunately, the members of the Public Safety Committee continue their soft on crime approach at the expense of California's most vulnerable, our children. Yep. Sounds about right. California. All right, well, we're done with California.
Yes, we're done.
We're done with you because we have Babylon Bee headlines to discuss, and we need you out there to pick a winner, so stay with us.
In 2024, we find ourselves at a pivotal moment where the call for unity, freedom, and a better future echoes louder than ever. Introducing Patriot Mobile, the wireless carrier that stands with you. We are committed to supporting the values that make our nation great. With affordable plans and reliable nationwide coverage, Patriot Mobile is not just a wireless service. It's a call to action for those who believe in the American dream.
Get free activation now with promo code EDUCATED.
All right, before we wrap up the show for the day, let's take a look at everyone's favorite satire site, the Babylon Bee.
Here are this week's top 5 Babylon Bee headlines.
All right, I'm going to make a prediction. You're going to have a very hard time voting and deciding which one is your favorite and should be named Queen of the Hive. So let's go to the headlines. Number 1, White House calls in Elmo to help explain latest global conflict to the president. Number 2, Biden retaliates against Iran by attaching note to pallet of cash that says, please do not use for terrorism. Number 3, Rashida Tlaib condemns violence against innocent Iranian missiles. Number 4, Biden unveils official campaign slogan, Death to America. And finally, number 5, Biden announces plan to win over young voters by getting rid of blockbuster movie rental late fees. All right, so which one do you like the best? Friends, you can vote. We put them up on the screen there again. And if you're watching on Facebook Live or Rumble, put the numbers in there and let us know. Katie, let's go to you first. What do you think?
Well, keep them up there because there were some long ones today. So let's see here. Okay, I understand number 5, Biden announcing the plan to win over young voters by getting rid of blockbuster movie rental late fees. But they're not young anyone. Like, the young ones don't know Blockbuster. Like, I'm not that young anymore. So I can't say, like, I would understand that one. But Blockbuster's been gone. Elmo is always a funny.
Elmo is good.
The fact that we have to bring
yours?
Elmo in to help explain the latest global conflict. to the
All right.
president. Yep, I'm gonna go with Elmo.
Number 1. Okay, before we go to the votes on Facebook and Rumble, and let us know what you think, I'm going hands down number 2. Hands down number 2. Biden retaliates against Iran by attaching a note of, so he's giving all this cash, right? Please do not use for terrorism, knowing that they're going to use it for terrorism.
Here's my reason. I liked it, but here's my reasoning for not picking number 2. I'm pretty sure that was the same headline we've had a couple times over the years.
I don't remember that one.
When it's well, not the exact
not
thing,
the
but it's the
exact.
same sentiment. Because I bet if we go Obama time,
well, yeah,
it's the same
it started
type
in the
sentiment.
Obama
It's
administration.
like, don't use this pallet of cash.
Yeah, they're
for
giving cash to
terrorism.
Iran now.
Like
It's
that's
the
so that's why
Biden
I'm like,
administration.
we've recycled.
All right,
We've
let's-
reduce, reuse, recycle.
Let's
that
go
one.
to the
All right,
votes. Let's go to the votes. Luz says number 4. Sue agrees with you,
Sue.
and Elmo number 1.
Lorna, thank you.
Lorna says she says 1. Her friend says 5, and David said, "Good Lord, you two can pick one for me. I'm lost."
All right, David, we'll give you 3 just so we have another one.
Yeah, put number 3 in there for David, and then Gregory says number 1.
See?
No one else thinks number 2 is the best. Come on now. I know. Anyway,
all by yourself.
well, that's
Are you Eric Carmen?
I think that's just too close to it. Almost practical reality, but they're just not putting a note on it saying "do not use for terrorism" when they know. You give money to a terrorist regime, by the way, American tax. Where does that money come from, Katie, that we're giving to
Grows on trees.
Iran? What about the globalists that are the government of Ukraine? Where does that money come? Oh, American taxpayers. But we must move on. That's going to wrap up our top headlines of the week. More satire next time.
All right. Well, if you do enjoy our content and our banter, please consider subscribing to our audio podcast and weekly media e-blast, which does contain all of the top stories of the week. All you have to do is simply go to stayeducated.org. It's that simple.
By the way, thanks, Teresa. She voted with me, number 2.
Pity vote.
I'm not
Pity
alone.
Vote.
I'm not alone.
Pity vote. All right, now for David and myself, thank you for watching. Thank you for listening, and thank you for supporting what we do. Until next time, stay educated.